Hello, welcome to our permaculture backyard slash homestead slash learning center. I want to talk about a few of the systems that you see here, and we'll take a little walk around and have a look at things. Strawberries out of the aqua hut. I better finish these first. Hi, Lucy.
Hi.
Like strawberries? Okay, so in the backyard here we have it's all really a food forest. It's all producing food. But this half of the yard in the back is mostly the annual beds, and that side is the true food forest. We do have some annuals on this side, but do have some perennials on this side, but it's mostly annuals. The whole property has two property-wide swales that are 2 feet deep, on contour and level. One at the top, one at the bottom. Being on level, the water that flows into them is stopped, absorbed by the landscape, and used by the plants. So none of that nutrient or water leaves my landscape. I'm catching and storing that energy. That's a permaculture principle. It's catch and store energy. In front of each of these beds there's also a small swale. Didn't get out the A-frame or the level on it, but leveled by hand so that any water that does get through is stopped for each bed. We will walk around and have a look at these beds and the soil in them. They're all hugelkultur beds. And hugelkultur is just buried organic matter. Trees, sticks, logs, leaves, hay, compost, whatever you got around to put in that's organic. Usually covered by a layer of topsoil so you can grow in that first year as things are getting going. That wood starts to break down, creating a humus in there over the years, getting better every year as it breaks down and changes that into more nutrients available. First year it does steal some of that nitrogen. As that carbon's being broken down, it needs that nitrogen to make that mix to give us that perfect ratio for compost. We know it's 30:1. So in that first year it is stealing some of that nitrogen that would be available for the plants to break down the wood inside. That being said, I will probably post pictures on this of my first year out here. Absolutely amazed at how well it went. So, like I said, each of these is hugel beds. We are October 25th now. 22nd, I believe. October 22nd now. I haven't gotten our first frost yet, but we are just about to. I've been harvesting a lot of things. I'll probably get all this out of here in the next few days. Maybe make a short video on that. So here's our strawberries. Lots of different peppers. Some more lemon balms and mints and herbs. Lots of mixed in perennial greens, some annual greens. Perennial green we eat the most is sochan and sorrel. Mostly sorrel. We got a lot of sorrel around the property. Lots of kale, green beans, carrots, chard, eggplant, and mixed in perennial flowers. The entire annual bed is surrounded by blackberries and raspberries. We've got thornless blackberries, red raspberries, black raspberries. On the far side, we've got a lot more fruits and berries. We'll get into those in a minute. Duck just came up to say hi. Hi. Who am I talking to, huh? Oh, you like strawberries. You like strawberries, huh? I don't think they can see you. Well, they came to say hi. Let me grab the camera and I'll show you. That's another one of the systems. Small animal protein. Hi. So for small animal protein on the farm, we have the ducks, chickens, tilapia in the aqua hut. There's also their kiddie pool right here and a pond down below. This kiddie pool is another way we catch and store the energy. As the ducks swim around in there, pooping and peeing, I collect that. I don't know if you can make out, there's a little pump there. I pump that all down into the garden, collecting and storing those nutrients. catching and storing that energy, so I don't have to bring it in off-site. Produce as much as I can on-site. We really don't bring much in off the site here. Had a friend bring us rabbit poop this year. That's about the only thing, and seeds obviously for some of our cover crops. But let's go on over to the other side now. Uh-oh, Lucy, they're gonna get you. Those ducks are gonna get you. There's the chickens. A little bit of a mess over here right now, but there's one rain barrel. We have rain barrels at all the gutters. They're all connected together. When they overflow into this, I don't know if you can make it out, but this is a catch pond here. It slows it, absorbs it once again. That has a small swale to this first fruit tree. This is a plum tree. This is the other side of that swale. This is the other side of that swale. I fill these swales full of wood chips. As wood chips break down, in less than a year, give me this beautiful soil. I don't know if you can see it from there. I'll bring some up. Oh, look out. Oh, look at that. We have a real high clay content here. You never know it from my soil. So like I said, there's a plum tree there. Another plum tree here, the Morris plum here, and the third plum tree there. We have a Asian pear, the Johnson Delicious. Write down all your plants, because this is where I forget. I don't remember what that one is. All mixed in here is more hugel beds. We also have annuals in here, lots of tomatoes. Ground cover of strawberries, clover, and vetches. Some mints and herbs mixed in. What ground covers do is it's a living mulch is what it is. It stops that sun, keeps the moisture in the ground. And a lot of those are nitrogen fixers and dynamic accumulators too. We'll go into that a little bit. The clover's a nitrogen fixer, as are the legumes. I've got a bean plant, a scarlet runner planted to climb this plum tree. It's using the plum tree as its scaffolding. At the same time, it's catching the nitrogen out of the air. The legume is, the bean is, and storing it down in its roots, feeding the plum tree at the same time. There's a symbiotic relationship. It's part of a guild. We'll get more into guilds in a little bit here. Around most of these trees, you'll see I have bulbs planted. I have comfreys planted. And you can't make them on now because we're getting into fall, but I also have beneficial flowers planted to bring in the beneficial insects. The bulbs stop the grass first thing in the season, so the tree doesn't have to compete with the grass. The comfrey, if I mentioned the comfrey, has a real deep taproot on it. It's a nitrogen fixture, but it's also a dynamic accumulator. That deep taproot goes down to access those nutrients that aren't available by your shallow-rooted. Most of your annual plants have shallow root systems, and they can't access those nutrients that are down deep. So that comfrey and other dynamic accumulators have a deep taproot that access those nutrients, pull them up into their leaves and foliage, and then you can chop and drop that in place to leave those nutrients available for those plants. You can also compost it, make compost teas out of it. Chickens in the system and the ducks, but mostly the chickens are for the fallen fruit in here. When your fruit falls, that's where the larvae of the non-beneficial insects comes in, and stuff that you don't want. Everything in a permaculture system should have at least 3 uses, minimum. We'll use the chickens for an example. And the ducks, you can see them in here. The chickens give us the eggs and the meat if we cared to. They give us fertilizer from their waste. They give us bug control. We have no more fleas or ticks really at all on the property. The other pest control they do is from any fruit fall that we get, they'll eat that fruit and eat the insects, the larvae of the insects that are inside of that fruit to stop that cycle in its tracks. So if you pick one point of the cycle, it's easy to control your insects. If you try to chase them through their cycles, you end up chasing them. So by using the chickens, you're stopping at the larva stage, and you don't have to worry about those non-beneficial insects. You say non-beneficial, I'm sure they eat the beneficial insects too. But. Again, these are hugel beds. Let's go do a little walk around. I'm coming in, look out. These are arugula plants, volunteers. Something I